Hey everyone, it's Tiffany Cherie, and today I'm going to be telling another story time video about the second time that I found out the guy I was with was married with kids. Again, it happened again. If this looks familiar, it's because I did already post a video, another story time about when I was locked in an apartment with a cockroach man. So if you want to check that out, I will put it in the card above. So this happened many years ago when I was working at the fast food place where I met the first guy who was married with kids. And this person was a cook. No, was he a cook? I think he was the dishwasher. I feel like he did a lot in the back, so he was like helped prepare the food and like help with the cleaning as well. So he was a beautiful man. Very similar to the other story in that we would do a lot of our hanging out in the car. And we would talk like at parks and stuff, or like in parking lots after work. It was never really like in my house because at the time I was still living with my parents. And we never ever went to his house, except there was a few weekends. Actually, he paid for like hotel rooms and stuff as well. And I always asked like, why can't we just go back to yours? And he said, because he lived with his sister. In a previous video, I said that I was everyone's red flag. This is another red flag moment that my dumbass didn't see, but I really hope that y'all get a good message out of this. So he told me that he lived with his sister, so that was why we could never go to his place. That was why he was spending money on hotel rooms, and we were just always after work because it was 10, 11, midnight, just in the car parks. Until one day, finally, we went back to his place. And at first he told me it was his friend's apartment. His friend was having him watch the apartment over the weekend. But then when we walked into the apartment, there were pictures of him, like in frames. And I was like, are you just really good friends with this guy? And he was like, oh, actually, like I've started to move in here. And I was like, where's the other guy then? And I can't remember how he like bamboozled me and distracted me into like not, I didn't follow through with that thought. And then as we were leaving, he made a point to say, thanks buddy for the apartment. And as I was grabbing my stuff, I was like, I thought that you were moving in. Like, I was just so confused. I didn't understand. And I was believing everything that was coming out of his mouth until I looked at one of the photos right at the entrance, and it was a photo of him with a little kid who looked maybe like he was 6 or 7. And there was a lady in the picture. And as we were leaving, as he was like, thanks buddy for the apartment, I looked at the photo and I was like, is this your child? And he says, no, that's my sister's child. I live with my sister and her child. I was like, okay, all right. And I believed him. I don't know why I believed him. So this continued on for a few months until one day he comes to work and he says that he has to quit last minute. And I was really sad because we've been seeing each other for a few months and I had really grown to like him and I enjoyed spending time with him, obviously. And he wouldn't even speak to me. I was like, it was in front of all our managers and everything. And so then I tried to speak to him alone and he just ended up walking out. He was like, I can't say anything to you. I have to go. And when he was leaving, I went out and I looked that he got in a car with a woman who was his sister and that kid. Apparently they had to go back to Mexico for something, I don't even know. So I was really sad, and the whole day, the whole shift, I was like, I don't understand why he wouldn't say bye to me. Like, he could have at least said goodbye. We were together like every weekend for 3 months. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Until finally, the lady who worked with me in the drive-thru was like, Tiffany, you are being so stupid right now. That was not his sister, that was his wife, that was his child. The reason why he didn't say goodbye is because you were just a side piece. I was like, my face. I was like, what? No. He said it was his sister, and I'm sitting here like all the pieces are finally coming into place. Actually, this reminds me, I'm just gonna say it in this video as well. There was a third time. There was a third time. I promise I didn't know. If I knew, if I would have known, I wouldn't have done it. So there was a third time when it was another guy at the same restaurant. This restaurant was very incestuous almost, if you could use that word. there was another chef later on when I worked there the second time who he gave me his number. Look at my new phone case as well. It's all shiny. Got my cute pop socket. So that guy, he gave me his phone number and he said that he shared the number with his sister. All these guys with their sisters. I don't understand why that's such an excuse. Well, I guess, I mean, it works if like dumbasses like me at the time believe it. But he said he shared the phone with his sister and not to call it during the daytime. So I didn't understand what he meant by daytime, and we would talk at night and I would go to his place. There wasn't any, like, it just looked like a normal place. There wasn't anything to indicate that he was living with another woman. Just looked like a man's apartment. And one time I had called him, and I guess it was too early in the day because he said only call him at nighttime, but I thought 4 o'clock would have been like, I don't know. I called to see what he was up to before work, and then he didn't answer. I left a voicemail. I got a call back from this woman who was screaming at me. We were both going back in English and Spanish because we both spoke English and Spanish, and it was just like, it was just like Spanglish explosion of anger, emotion. She was like, who the fuck is this? Why the fuck are you calling my man's number? And I was like, I just work with him, dude. Like, sorry. I was like just acting innocent, like I just work with him, I don't understand why you're getting so mad. And then I said, I know that he shares his phone with you. And she was like, then why the fuck are you calling? And I was like, because I just wanted to see when he started work. And I think as I was talking with her, as the words were coming out of my mouth, it started to click with me that this wasn't his sister. Again, this is the point where I think a lot of girls nowadays, they debate on whether you tell the woman, you tell the girlfriend or the wife, hey, he told me that you were his sister and that he's been cheating on you and da 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 da. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know. You'd think I would know considering how many times I've been in this situation. But apparently I don't let the wife or girlfriend know. Because I didn't, in this phone call, as it started falling into place in my head, as the pin dropped, I was like, fuck, like this, I just want to remove myself from the situation. I don't want anything to do with him anymore. So I was just like, look, sorry, I was just calling about work. There's nothing more to it than that. And I promised her up and down that there was nothing more to it. It makes me wonder if he had done this before, because she was so positive that we were hooking up, which we were. But I was like, no, it's just for work, calm down. And then when I got to work, he was like, I told you not to call me during the daytime. And I was like, I thought that you shared your phone with your sister. So then I told him that I didn't want to have anything to do with him anymore. So there you go. Those were the 2 other times that I was with a man and he was married with kids. How? I feel like it's kind of made me paranoid though. Not that people will cheat on me, but when I meet a guy and he's like, oh yeah, I'm hanging out with my sister, I'm like, can you please show me your birth certificate, because I don't know if that's really your sister or not. Just kidding. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that story. Please, again, let me be a red flag. Just be careful out there. Be careful out there, ladies. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Bye.